This little DJI Mini 3 Pro drone is the most fun I've had since I got my wildlife lens, actually. So let's talk about what I wish I knew before I bought it and my first impressions so that I can help you if you are thinking about getting this drone and make it a smoother process for you and just let you know what to expect, because there were a couple hiccups. Getting into wildlife photography was a result of always wanting to be closer to nature and see it more intimately and experience it in different ways. And you notice different things. This is how they hunt, or you watch them and you find out where they live. It's so incredible just getting to experience it in a different way and realize all the things that are around you all the time that you just haven't noticed before. For me, getting a drone was just another way of doing that. I just wanted to find a way to see this beautiful place I live and the beautiful places I get to visit and travel to in another way, in a way that maybe other people haven't. The world is full of these beautiful things and they can be so close to you, but you would never know if you just don't go there and get to see it. So a drone for me is not only a way of seeing things in a different perspective, but also finding new places for me to visit and explore. Plus, they're a lot of fun, and I think it's gonna be super great getting to help tell my stories on this channel with this drone. I'm Malcolm Owenfeld, by the way, and thank you for tuning in to watch this video. I appreciate it very much. I talk about wildlife photography and videography mostly, but I'm just kind of really into cameras right now, so you might find some other stuff. So do subscribe if you want to follow along with that. But today I wanted to talk to you about the things I ran into when I first got this drone. Some of them were kind of roadblocks that stopped me from getting to enjoy the drone right away, and other things were just cool little tips that might help you. But what I will say is that if you don't know these things and you get this drone, and this is going to date me, it's like when you rented a DVD or a VHS from Blockbuster or something, and you got home and you're all excited to watch the new movie, and you open the case and there's nothing in it. That is the feeling you're going to have if you don't know these things. So if I can help you avoid that and get to enjoying your drone sooner, this video is a success. All right, so let's get into it. So as mentioned, I went with the DJI Mini 3 Pro for my first drone. I wanted the vertical mode because I like making content, so I thought that would be cool, and I'm loving it. I also opted to go for the RC1 controller, which is this fancy dancy controller that has a built-in screen. You don't have to hook your phone up to it. I reached out to colleagues of mine. I work professionally in television and with a lot of camera people that own drones, and they said, yeah, getting this controller is a no-brainer. You're not going to want to use your phone. You're going to run into issues with that. And I got to say that I have been loving this. If you've played any kind of video games, this is going to feel good. You're going to like it. I also went with the Fly More kit, and we're going to get into that a little bit more later and why I definitely recommend that you do get that. But off the top, that's the whole package I went with. Drone, RC1 controller, Fly More pack. Oh, and ND filters. We'll touch on that too. When you first get the drone and fire it up, you're gonna be all excited, especially if you have the RC1 controller, but you're gonna have to register and go through the registration process of both just registering it with DJI and the app on your phone and on the controller and connecting the devices. First heads up I'll give you that I had issues with the registration, trying to enter in the details on this app. The app was not formatting right. I couldn't see things I needed to read and type things I needed to type. It didn't work, essentially. And I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to figure this out. Just did it on my phone, or maybe I went to the computer, made an account first. Yeah, that's what I did. I logged in, made an account on my laptop, then came back in and just signed in rather than having to try and create an account on the controller. That was a little bit of a roadblock. So that'll bring me to my first tip. Do this in a place that has a good internet connection and have a computer be handy. You're gonna need that. And now, why do you need to have an internet connection? Because you gotta register to DJI, of course, but there's also gonna be firmware updates. A good internet connection means that's gonna be a little bit quicker. If you play video games, you know this pain. You buy a new game, you throw it in, and then there's like 2 hours of updates to go through. It was a lot quicker than that, but just a heads up, there will be updates. Now, one very cool thing about the flying app, there are tutorials built right in. So it'll kind of teach you how to fly right as you fire it up for the first time. It's pretty intuitive. The alerts and these tutorials kind of pop up repeatedly until you tell them not to. I really do recommend that you go through them and try them. I know there's a little tutorial menu you can go into that'll kind of train you up on how to fly. It's not as intuitive as I thought it would be. I had never flown a drone before getting this, so I just thought it would be like I don't know. I just thought it'd be different. It didn't take me that long to figure out, but it was different. So the tutorials were very helpful. I'm gonna fire this up because one thing that I didn't know and didn't realize that made me think that this was actually broken when I first got it is that you have to wait for it to pair with satellites. So there's a little number display on the top right of the screen that I'll show you in a second, and it starts at 0 and it's going to be displayed red, and you cannot fly at that point. And that just means that your drone cannot find any satellites for GPS and locating, so it can't fly. It wouldn't know what to do or where it is, and it would not be safe. It takes a little while for that to kind of find something. You're gonna have to wait, 30 seconds to a minute, depending on where you are. If I'm inside in here, which I admit is where I first tried it, thinking that I'll just fly it inside like an absolute idiot, it couldn't find any satellites inside of here. There's a lot of concrete. Couldn't find anything, so I thought the drone was broken. So that's a heads up. Let me try and show you. Right there, that red thing, that red little spot there, you probably can't see it. That is where that's going to be displayed. If you're outside, you probably won't run into this problem, but for me, it was a problem. As you can probably tell, I'm jumping around from positive to negative comments. Well, they're not really negative, they're just things that I didn't realize. Maybe you're going to be smarter than me and more clever, and these hiccups won't hit you. Hopefully that's okay with you. I mentioned earlier that this can be a lot like renting a DVD from Blockbuster, opening it when you get home and not having a disc. So let me explain what I meant by that comment. And this is going to be the part that really helps you, I think. I mentioned the updates, so just be aware of that. You're going to have to update it first. But the other thing is that you're meant to charge your battery first. And that can actually take a while, like an hour or so, I think. So if you didn't get the Fly More kit, your only option for charging this removable battery here is keeping it in the drone, and then there's a USB-C port right there. It'll come with a cable. You just gotta plug that into your own wall adapter. So just be aware, you're meant to charge the battery first for first use. That can take a while. You're gonna wanna get a full charge. That is recommended in general, I think, for battery health. But even if that's not true, and you could fly it with like a slight charge, the batteries drain so quickly that you wouldn't get to fly much at all. Now, on the topic of battery life and why I recommend the Fly More kit, batteries go quick, like that. And especially on your first couple flights where you're literally just gonna be kind of figuring out how to go up and not crash into something and going super slow, you're gonna get nowhere before you need to land it again. So if you just buy the drone and no Fly More kit, you've only got the one battery. That's meant to be, I think, 32 minutes or ish. Realistically, I think you're going to be at like 25 because it's going to tell you, hey, like return to home, in a safe manner and don't get stuck somewhere without battery life. And for me, I wanted to play it safe. I'm not very familiar with this drone yet. I'm not using the whole thing. I'm not risking it. That time goes by like that. And as you know, time flies when you're having fun. So like that 25 minutes goes so quick. I can't even explain it. It's like this is a little time machine and I throw it up in the air and then all of a sudden 30 minutes has gone by and I can't believe it. So when you get the Fly More kit, you get 2 more additional batteries and a 3-bay charger. I think I've got that right here. Yeah. This is the little charger. You can fit 3 batteries in there. Just pops out, in it goes, backwards. And then it can charge them one by one. It doesn't charge them simultaneously. It focuses its energy on one battery at a time, but once one's done, it moves on to the other. And that is the way to go because guess what? You're gonna wanna fly it for longer than 25 minutes. You're gonna wanna fly for at least an hour. I've found that since getting this, I usually burn through 2 batteries a session. I get it up, I find somewhere I want to fly, and then I rip around for, pretty close to an hour. I have used all 3 batteries before, no problem. It's just so much fun. You're gonna want it. So again, if you just have the one battery and you get it up there and you're excited, you finally start figuring out the controls and you gotta land, you gotta plug it in and wait at least an hour to charge it again. That's a bit of a buzzkill. Not fun. Fly More kit, do it. The Fly More kit also comes with this case, which I didn't think I was gonna like. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep it in my camera bag with all my lenses and stuff, but it's kind of perfect. I guess I could show you. Just fold up the drone. It's got these arms that just go in like this. The drone doesn't feel super sturdy, I'll say, but I don't hold that against it because it is so lightweight, and that's what makes it so cool is that it's under 250 grams for legal reasons for flying without a license and stuff. That's awesome. Searching for this. The propellers feel very breakable, and getting them in and out, I thought that could be risky. So what I've done is just used a couple of Velcro ties, and then I just wrap them around like so. And that kind of holds the arms all together and the propellers all in like that. And then I throw that in this slot right here. And with that Velcro tie, they're not going to get caught coming in and out. I think I'm going to try an elastic hairband next and see if that's even quicker, but that's working for now. The battery bay charger goes in the top here. There you go. And now there's one more spot beside the battery bay. We'll throw the controller in there. I throw it in sideways like this with the control knob still in. I just get them past the battery charger. So the controllers are on this side, battery charger's there, and then they just fit in perfectly. I think you're meant to remove these toggles because there's a spot on the back for them right here. I really don't think they're gonna get busted off if I'm careful putting it in the case because there's nothing pressing against them if I do it right. So that works for me. I just know that I've got all 3 batteries. I've got my ND filters in the back, which we'll talk about in a second, my charger, my controller, and my drone all in one bag. One thing to worry about. Otherwise, I can't fit like all my lenses and all my gear in that backpack. So I'd be choosing to leave the charger behind and then might want that. Then I forget to take the ND filters out. So one kit for the drone. That workflow is working for me, but everybody's different. As far as the case quality goes, totally great. If it's nice. I'm happy with it. One more thing that can really kill you and stop you from using it right away is I kind of didn't think about the SD card. It does not come with a memory card, but me working as a professional audio guy, I have a ton of micro SDs and SD cards for my audio gear, but nothing that worked with this drone. First, I had a 32 gig micro SD, which totally, fits in, works. It's not a lot of memory for, shooting 4K footage stuff, but it's enough. But what you're gonna run into is that if you don't have a fast card, it doesn't really work properly. So I was trying to record like 60 FPS slow-mo stuff onto it, and it was dropping frames. So essentially my playback on the recorded file was kind of stuttery and jittery, and it was just missing frames, really. It couldn't write fast enough. So you have to get a card that can write fast enough. DJI does have a list of approved cards on their website, so you can just go on that and find something. I'll link the one that I ordered down below for you if you want to check that out. It's been great since I got it. I went with, I think 128 gigabytes. I guess I can check. Yep, 128 gigabytes. Plenty of storage. Now I'm getting smooth footage. So my first couple days of shooting with some of the stuff you probably saw in the intro was a little jittery because it just wasn't working properly. So you have to account for that. Like all things in the visual world, it's more expensive than it appears at first glance. So, you buy a camera. Oh, I need lenses. Oh, I need ND filters. Oh, I need batteries, battery chargers, memory cards, straps, rain covers. It's never ending, but that's also part of the fun of it if you embrace it and you like the gear like I do. But it's good to know these things in advance so you can actually enjoy them once you get the product. So don't forget a memory card. Ideally, you should probably have a couple in case one fails, or you want to keep different projects on different cards, whatever your workflow is, just keep that in mind. Now, the only other thing that is not optional, in my opinion, if you want your footage to look professional, if you really don't care and you're just ripping around for fun and more about the flying and less about the capturing visuals, I guess it's not necessary then. But if you do care and you want your footage to look professional, which is what I'm looking for, you do have to get ND filters, which are also not included in any of the packages. Like, they don't come with the Fly More pack. So here are mine. These ones are the K&F Concept ND filter pack. It was super affordable. The reviews were great. I just went for it after checking out some other YouTube videos, people recommending stuff. They look like that. Little tiny things. Essentially, if you're not familiar, they are sunglasses for your lens. You've probably heard of them. You've probably used them on your main camera, but you need them for droning. There's so much light up there. Kind of whenever you go, it doesn't matter. It's just the aperture is a 1.7 on the drone, and you get up there and you want to keep your shutter, at double your frame rate. So if you're at 50, if you're shooting 24 frames per second, you throw it at 50 for your shutter speed. It's bright. It's very overexposed. So you can either crank your shutter and then you lose your motion blur. It doesn't look very nice, in my opinion, around that for nice, smooth playing back videos with the drone. You need ND filters. Couldn't get these fast enough because I didn't have them when I first got the drone. So I ordered them right away, got them speed shipped because it was just like, I need them. I'll link to the ones that I got, but honestly, there's tons of good sets out there, whatever you want. I will mention that my most used filter is the ND64. That seems to be kind of like the most common one that I'm going with. I kind of wish I had one just a step higher than that as well, but having the whole set's kind of nice because I went out kind of close to sunset last night and needed to drop quite a few. So there you go. Get ND filters if you care about your footage looking professional. I'm not going to cover all of like the features of the drone because you've probably already seen that stuff if you're interested in this drone. This is more so just a video to be like, hey, I want you to know these things so that you can get to enjoy it if you do buy it. And also to just say that as a consumer and somebody that's just bought their first drone, I am very happy with it. It's been super great. I spent all day Saturday just cruising up North Island on Vancouver Island here and either taking photos with my wildlife lens or flying this around and just capturing this crazy, beautiful place. It was super awesome. I really do love it. And it's also just a great tool. I used it to help a friend. I've got 2 friends that just launched an Airbnb business. So I just went and made a little video for them. That's done really well. And it's like another way for me to capture things and tell stories. So I'm really, really happy with it. If you're getting into a drone, I think this is a pretty reasonable price point for a really, really nice product. I think you'll be happy with it. My last warning that I would have for somebody buying this drone and learning to fly for the first time, and this is it's made pretty obvious on the controller itself, but when you go sport mode, which on the controller here, you've got 3 modes right here on this dial here. Hopefully you can see that. It is C, N, and S. It's Cine mode, normal mode, and then speed mode. Speed mode is fun, it's fast, it rips. You can do like 60 kilometers an hour ripping with the sport mode on, but it turns off all of your safety sensors. So if you're gonna crash, you're probably gonna be in sport mode. Whoops, I almost crashed my drone really quick. A couple times now. I'm a little too daring maybe, but it's so fun. But I would recommend, while you're learning and figuring out your drone, just go normal and cine mode, take it slow. Don't ruin your investment right away. Above all else, have fun. I hope this helped you. If it did help you, please do consider giving this channel a subscribe and following along for more videos like this, and give the video a thumbs up. And please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, want additional videos on how I'm using stuff, or just let me know where you're watching from. I'm really loving connecting with everyone all over the world by making videos like this and just sharing a love for nature and wildlife and photography and videography. So thank you again for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.